Hello, it's Thursday, 3 p.m. ish Pacific time, so it must be time for the EWB TV Simulcast, and it is. So great to be here again. I am dedicated to popping in every week on Thursday at around 3 p.m. Pacific. And I do have the chat open. I'm going to type a little welcome message here. And I'll be able to read your messages, but I won't necessarily be able to type in. But I can see them, so I can respond verbally. If you're watching live during the simulcast, go ahead and say hello. If you have a question about anything I'm chatting about or sharing information, ask away. I'll do my best to respond. Anyway, it's so good to be here with you all. I'm looking forward to this ongoing Thursday afternoon simulcast to begin to share with you so much information that has come through the last few months. I kind of took a hiatus, like I mentioned last week, from doing the simulcast, and I switched it from a Monday to a Thursday just because Mondays jam-packed with new business of the week. Um, I am I actually run or manage or founded all of those, three different companies. All I've been doing from my home office for one of them for about 28 years. So, a lot going on at the beginning of the week, and I decided Thursday I would be able to create a space where I can be more focused and be in a better place to be of service to those who are interested in upleveling their intuitive empath abilities to manage and navigate energy, aka feelings. So today I just wanted to chat a little bit about the ebb and flow of the evolution process of transformation, self-realization, awakening, whatever you want to call it. But it's that process those of us who are on this journey know well that we get the what I call the metaphorical switch that flips from what I call research mode to release mode. And it's this constant feeling deep within that there's something more. I'm something more than this physical body. I'm something more than this story, this looping story that keeps playing out. What am I really? What am I? What's my purpose? Why am I here? All really good questions. All questions that I have asked myself in the past, my human self anyway. So today I want to talk about um, in that ebb and flow of transitioning from having a perspective based in a duality construct into a singularity construct. And in that process, there'll be moments when we'll feel connected, expansive, and when we're in those moments, we're actually resonating or in alignment with the feeling frequencies that are in counterclockwise spin. Because energy isn't static, it's always moving. It's either spinning clockwise or counterclockwise. Clockwise is the contraction spin, and the human vocabulary, adjectives of feelings that are associated with that contraction feeling, they're all the fear-based, judgment, unworthiness, so on and so forth. Expansion spin energy, that's the vocabulary we associate with feeling good, all is well, peace, a sense of comfort, knowing that again, all is well. So we have those two opposite spins of energy, and they're great for contrast, which is why this whole physical world even exists. What a great place for us as collective consciousness, quantum self, to explore and understand what is what. Need that contrast. So while we're going through our process of evolving and becoming more unified with our actual self, which is already this expanded consciousness, got to look at the stuff that we had been researching prior. It's not who we are, contrary to what I call the avatar, the physical body and the bioenergetic body, third and fourth dimension combined, may have us up until that moment of the switch flipping. We would be assuming that because we feel all that heaviness inside of us and that tightness, that that's some kind of an indication of who we are and our value. It's not. It is the program unconsciously embedded for us to do our research and then eventually release and transform that. But it's not who we are. So when you go through that process, there's these three stages of release: recognition, identification, and disengagement. So the recognition is we recognize that contraction. And instead of personalizing it and believing it's something about who we are or our value, we instead recognize it for data coming up from the unconscious to show us what has been unconsciously transmitted and now is asking for recognition of that process. So in turn we can identify what's the blocking beliefs in there, what are the themes of research in there, what is the loops of patterns of behavior that have been triggered by this feeling frequency and repeated over and over and over. So as soon as a person is able to, or aka avatar, is able to begin to shift from experiencing and perceiving that they are outside, striving to get back in connection to something bigger and greater, but instead are willing to perceive and experience that they already are the quantum self, and that the human experience is a designed program, if you will, to self-explore, not the human self-explore. We're just mimicking what we as greater consciousness is doing. We're taking this contraction energy, researching all these fear-based feelings, and contrasting them to love, joy-based feelings. And then once we understand that we are not that story, that we are already the expanded self. And that's what I love about studying quantum physics, mechanics, quantum biology. It backs it up. It backs it up. This is not some sort of ambiguous belief system. Quantum mechanics shows us that the very essence of our energy field that comprises the physical body and the correlating bioenergetic body are energy spinning either clockwise or counterclockwise. It's not solid. We already are that. And one of the things I also love about quantum mechanics is this basic rule of its function. One of its basic rules of function is entanglement. Now you'll hear me repeat this over and over. It's so important. Entanglement in metaphysics equates to everything is everything, or interconnectedness. It's the same thing. Quantum physics, the term is entanglement. Metaphysics, interconnectedness. Same thing. It just means that we're already all one. There's no denying it. Yeah, when we're focusing on the contraction spin, the fear-based feelings, that puts up filters. And so therefore, we're not able to feel connected. But that doesn't mean we're not, because that's the source of our identity. So when I pop on here, I'll be talking about different aspects of this transformation process based upon my research into quantum biology, into metaphysics, the fusion of both. Because it's one and the same, two halves of the same coin. So when we begin this journey of transformation, it feels at first like we have no choice, which in a higher level, we have already pre-designed that to be that switch to flip. Our avatar may feel like it's an itch they can't scratch and they have to pursue it, which is true. And in doing that, there's going to be some rocky roads along the way sometimes. But let me assure you, a lot of that can be smoothed out by just being willing to accept that you already are the greater consciousness, the quantum self. You already are everything, and everything is already you. And that everything that you experienced up to the point in your human focus and consciousness was largely on an autopilot setting. And the events that were created from in utero until the time their switch flips over to release mode are all coordinated and orchestrated by the quantum universal blocking program. We're not even aware. We think these events that happen that are traumatic or fear-based feelings are created from these events, that we think the event happened to us, that we're a victim of that event, but it's not the way it is. A feeling frequency, which is electromagnetic energy, first must be transmitted into the quantum field for all the coordination of all those pieces to come together and create the event. So the event isn't being done to us. We are creating it from a higher level of consciousness to implant in our human current life experience those feelings of contraction and unworthiness and such for research purposes. So the energy transmission comes first. The event comes second. Event creation comes second. So as we go through the process of the unfolding of understanding this reality, the real reality of what we are and what we're doing and how we're creating our experiences, there will be some contrast between the contraction, which we can feel in our body, literally, the tightness, the heaviness, the uncomfortable. Sometimes it's painful. Fear-based energy can have like a icy, the way I empathically or can sense fear is it almost has, depending on what type of fear, there can be an iciness to it, a numbness to it in its tightness in the body. Whereas anger, interestingly enough, anger is hot and prickly in the body. Because they're different frequencies, they have different registrations. So we use these words, but the words have frequency and vibrance to them. They have spin, contraction, or expansion. So we go through this process and we're unwinding and we're working through to release things and to shift our focus from feeling like we are on the outside trying to get back in. We shift our focus that we already in. And what we're doing is just transmuting the energy of our past research. So sometimes it takes some real determination to do this work. It's not like we can stop. Once you have that switch flipped, you can't stop the transformation process, the evolution of your consciousness into expanded place of being. It won't stop. However, we may sometimes circle around the same blocking belief a few times, creating some loops of uncomfortable feelings and circumstances and events, aka the rocky road, part of the journey. But that's when it's even more important to use these certain tools and techniques, which, by the way, I have available as a free MP3 download on my empoweredwholebeing.com website. The URL is cycling through in the ticker tape thread there. Under self-discovery, you'll see a divine heart coherence meditation, and you go to self-discovery. There's a drop-down box. Click on the divine heart coherence, and that link will take you to the page where you can access the instructions for using this MP3 and to access the free download for the MP3. And basically, like any meditation, it's all about shifting your spin of energy, your main focus and spin of energy. So what that means is that sorry, I got distracted by a message. So what that means is that that's so interesting. Someone's energy is coming in really strong right now, and it's I need to recenter myself. This is a good example of what can happen to an impasse. So all that means is that we may need to refocus. So I was talking about the technique, and I wanted to share that information. So this meditation, like I said, is just about shifting energy. It's about waiting to manage your energy, shifting it from contraction, which is when we put ourselves into the sympathetic mode of our autonomic system, and being able to shift it back into the parasympathetic mode of the autonomic system, which is the healing restorative mode, which is the counterclockwise expansion spin energy. When we're in the stress mode, there's a cascade of automatic events that happen physiologically that cause us to not be clear on how we feel or what's going on, and it can exacerbate, increase the intensity of a situation. When we are able to stay in a coherent state in counterclockwise spin energy, we'll have much more clarity. So the instructions are there, and like I said, meditation is just about managing energy. So this is a technique to shift your energy from being predominantly influenced by contraction spin, shifting it back to expansion spin. So you'll have more clarity, more feeling of connectedness, can tap into your higher wisdom, so on and so forth. So using these tools and techniques is how we can move through some challenging release processes that we will be going through. Like I tell my coaching clients, you do the work, you get the results. Sometimes it means that we have to be a bit of a badass and just really be clear and strong that we are not the unworthy energy, that we are not that contraction, uncomfortable feeling, that we are something more. And we tap in, and this technique teach you how to do that. We tap into who we really are. And then we glean the information being presented. So during one of the coaching sessions with one of my clients, we were joking around about being badass about this sometimes. We came up with this phrase, meaning about being able to shift energy and shift how we are, from where we're creating, from contraction or from expansion, from feeling bad to feeling good. Being able to shift because you're creating what you're about to experience 24/7 by how you're feeling, whether you're conscious of it or not. So why not be more conscious of it, so that you have ability to s- slip into that driver's seat and start really creating from a conscious place. So we started joking around and we called it badassery shiftery. So that just means that you're going to have to dig deep maybe sometimes and just really step away, move back from that contraction, unworthiness, judgment, comparison, all you put all the words in there. Back into unity, all is well. Being the creator, because you are by how you feel. So this today's episode is just about inviting all who watch, all intuitive empaths who are ready to take another up level in their ability to master their navigation and management of feeling frequencies, which is what electromagnetic energy is, and become that and engage in that badassery, shiftery feeling. Dig deep, connect, even if it's an intellectual understanding at first. Know that it's true. You are not this story. You are not this human experience. That's just what you came here to research and transmute and transform from contraction to expansion. You already are the expansion. You already are that quantum consciousness, the oneness of all. So I'll leave you with that thought. Encourage you to meditate on that. Get the free download. There's other stuff on the website as well. You're welcome to download and read articles and such, and videos and all kinds of fun stuff. So check it out. I'll see you next week. And I'll be maybe doing a watch party on this later. We'll see. But the point is, I'm really focusing on presenting more information so that people know how to navigate and manage energy and how to stay more within who they are, in essence, the quantum self. So until next week, great joy to you, and I look forward to connecting again.